CStucker, and today this is my project for the Expressive Language Therapy for my SLP class. Now in today's Expressive Language Therapy session that I have planned, I've designed this for a few first and second graders that I'm working with, and so for this project it is designed for about 3 to 4 students. And so I have set up the room here where I have a table that is low and easy for them to sit and work at just across from me. And today we're going to be learning about the concept of opposites, and so we're going to be teaching a number of words, and these words might be posted on a bulletin board or written on the blackboard around the room so that they can learn to recognize these words for when they are learning how to read, and also to recognize spelling. But the concept today is to learn to say these words as I present them today. So first I would start off by teaching the concept of opposites and reviewing those as the case may warrant for the students that are in my session. So the idea is to get them to say the word for the opposite that I am teaching. So to do this, I may start off by demonstrating, for example, with 2 sizes of books. And so I may introduce that when we talk about opposites, we're explaining how the two things are different from one another. So for example, this book is a big book, and this book is a little book. And so therefore, when we're talking about how they are different, we're talking about their opposites. One is big and the other is little. And so now at this time, other students, they might want to volunteer opposites that they can think of. Or we can talk about in the room that the door is closed or the door is open. Or when you turn the light on, the light is on. But when the light is off, it is off. So the opposites then, the words that they would be learning, is on and off, or open and closed. Now at this time I would also want to further introduce them to seeing the words in some additional graphics. Again, here is the word big and little for the little fish and the big fish. We could also talk about wet and dry, and what wet looks like and what dry looks like. Or for example, what happy looks like, and the opposite word for happy would be sad. And again, some additional words, we could include the word hard, and the opposite for hard is soft. And here they can get an idea by looking at these visuals to see what hard and soft mean. And so at this time, we're allowing the student to have opportunity to express and say these words together with us as we are talking about each of these graphics. Now another part of how I would teach the concept, I would have Mr. Opposite join us today. And Mr. Opposite is someone who likes to do just the opposite of what everyone else does. So for example, Mr. Opposite, he wears his shoes on his hands, and he wears his gloves on his feet. So that's the opposite of what we do. So again, here we could demonstrate, and by showing that we wear our shoes on our feet, and we would normally wear our gloves on our hands. But so with Mr. Opposite, if we asked him to go upstairs, Mr. Opposite would do the opposite, and he would go downstairs. And if we asked Mr. Opposite if he was happy today, Mr. Opposite, he would say he was sad. And if we told Mr. Opposite that something was long, Mr. Opposite would say it's short. So the words that we're learning for opposites are, for example, up and down and long and short. So when I'm working with the kids, I would cue them or ask them and let them take turns in regards to Mr. Opposite. And I might say, now if we told Mr. Opposite to go left, where would Mr. Opposite go? And they might say right. So I'd give them opportunity again to provide the word which is opposite. And again, it might be that we told Mr. Opposite there is a big box on the floor. Mr. Opposite would say small. And so I'd give the children opportunity to provide some of those opposite words that we're learning. And then a further way to learn and allow the children to provide answers and use some of these words for me would be to, I've made some gift packages here, and on the gifts are a number of sentences that have one word in it that's specific as an opposite, and then the actual opposite word is written on a bow. And so the students could pick from that pile of the bows to provide the right answer. So for example, on this gift package, I would read the sentence and they would fill in the blank word, which would be the opposite. So a rabbit is fast, but a turtle is, and then I would give the students opportunity to provide and say the word slow. And then they could find the bow that has the word slow on it, and they could take the package and the bow and they could go hang it on the bulletin board, completing and decorating this package. And then on this one, a store is noisy, but a library is, and they could provide and say the word quiet. And on this one then they could find the bow with the word quiet on it and complete our decorated package. And they provided the opposite words, noisy and quiet is what we learned there. And so there are a number of words that you could include for the day's learning experience depending on the students that you're working with. If they're grasping and mastering this concept well, you could add more words to the list that you're learning. However, when I feel that they are mastering this by hearing the words, saying the words, and they're visualizing the words and able to demonstrate these words, again, that list could be lengthened and we could talk about more. Otherwise, they could be moved on to learning another concept. So at this time, this ends my project for the Expressive Language Therapy. Thank you.